eating Gushers fruit snacks.
It is laughable on its face that corporate executives who go around thumping the tub for world-class academic standards sign off on programs that would seriously propose that children should learn the history of Tootsie Rolls.
Kansas Governor Bill Graves, a Republican, will appoint someone to fill the vacancy maybe as early as next week.
In thousands of American schools, students must watch Channel 1, a daily news program.
And we'll have more Channel 1 news in a minute.
Along with the news comes commercials.
Whoa!
Companies pay up to $200,000 to place a single ad on Channel 1 because they're promised a captive audience of millions of children. Now, commercials are entering America's schools in other ways.
You're not on our bus!
At North Junior High School, they call this the 7-Up bus. It's one of several in the city of Colorado Springs which have ads painted boldly on their sides.
No one else had ever put ads on the sides of school buses. We were the first ones that had ever done it.
Colorado Springs is a prosperous, rapidly growing city, but for years the schools here have been victims of affluenza.
People tend to say, well, I'll buy a boat instead of giving money to the schools. As a matter of fact, the school levy has not passed here for capital since 1972 and for operations since 1969.
School Superintendent Kenneth Burnley turned to advertisers to increase revenues. At Wasson High School, most of the ads are for the snack foods that students are warned against in their health classes.
We are allowing things to creep in one by one that distract from learning. I think there is a great deal more emphasis by students on materialism. I'm afraid the way our nation's going, we are becoming preoccupied with material things at the expense of our children. Do you feel like if you're not wearing the latest, the best, that would hurt your self-esteem or you would be put down?
I do. It's like if you wear something generic and you're walking down the halls, you feel like everybody's looking at you. You notice everybody else wearing Nike and Fila stuff.
So it is it's a big deal.
Yeah.
Of course, many young Americans are adopting consumerism as their credo. So many of the adults they see are already in above their heads.
The wedding was so good we almost have it paid off.
And that's where the whole ball started rolling.
We started out thinking pretty much we could finance the world, and we tried, but didn't work.
The story of the Adams family of Colorado Springs is one that's become all too familiar throughout America.
18, I got a Mervin's credit card. With that, I managed to get my Visa card, and then Cindy, she managed to get her Visa card, and we ended up with lots of Visa cards to begin with.
Keaton and Cindy Adams married in 1990 and soon began buying lots of things for their home, all on credit.
Furniture, couches, love seat, end table, coffee tables, entertainment center.
What's another $25 a month? I mean, that's the thought process we go through. And then we found ourselves making minimum payments all over the place to the point where we couldn't. And then when we started to get 2 months behind, 3 months behind, the arguments ensued. We started fighting.
They were $20,000 in debt.
We were screaming divorce. Finally, we just ended up reaching a breaking point.
They called on the car.
So what'd they say?
It'd be $600.
In 90% of divorce cases, arguments about money play a prominent role. But Keaton and Cindy didn't get divorced, they got help when a debt collector referred them to consumer credit counseling.
Does he have something set up to repay this debt?
The clients apparently had financed some medical bills.
Can you have him call Chris at Consumer Credit Counseling?
These days, the phones are busy at the Consumer Credit Counseling Service, an international network with hundreds of offices throughout the United States.
When a person comes to Consumer Credit Counseling, the first thing we do is cut up the credit cards. That whole availability and ease of use of credit, I think, makes it real hard for people to remember that they're dealing with real money.
Americans possess more than 1 billion credit cards. Fewer than a third of us pay off our balances each month. Credit card debt tripled in the 1980s.
Not including real estate and mortgages, we're carrying over $1 trillion in debt.
In 1996, more than 1 million Americans declared personal bankruptcy, more than graduated from college.
Do you have money jitters? Ask the obliging Bank of America for a jar of soothing instant money, M-O-N-E-Y, in the form of a convenient personal loan.
When this commercial was made, Americans earned half as much but saved twice as much as they do now. Our personal savings rate is now 4%. By contrast, the Japanese save 16% of their wages. Still, for Americans, the message to spend even more is incessant. The credit card offers keep coming, with enticements ranging from temporary low rates to frequent flyer miles.
Thank you. How are you?
Good. Well, it's halfway
Each month, Cindy Adams deposits a check at Consumer Credit Counseling to pay off debts. She's learned a hard lesson.
It's okay not to have the newest thing, the latest style. Our home doesn't have to be tip-top 90s condition. Lets us focus on other things that are more important than stuff.
But Cindy and Keaton still feel caught when they think about their children.
Even Brandon at 3 is now going to pick out his 10 favorite things and, Mommy, why can't I have it? And that's just the way things are.
And that troubles Glenn Stanton of Focus on the Family.
The pressure that materialism is bringing to bear on the American family today is woefully underestimated, but it is critically important.
Focus on the Family. This is Kathy. May I help you?
Founded by Dr. James Dobson, whose radio program reaches millions, Focus on the Family is the largest Christian conservative organization in the United States. The political ideology here is free market capitalism, though not without reservations.
The market, in a very real sense, is hostile to the family. It needs to expand itself. It needs to bring in new consumers. And quite tragically, it brings in new consumers almost at any price. Do we go out after a sale, even pitting child against parent? We would contend that that is too far.
Strong families spend time together, but that's less common in our consumer society, even when parents are not working.
Come on, keep going, keep going.
Mom's upstairs watching a movie on the VCR. Dad is on the internet. Kids are downstairs playing video games. Everybody is connected to something outside of the home, even though they're physically within the home.
New Life Church is less than a mile from Focus on the Family. Sunday services here attract thousands of evangelical Christians.
The Bible does not say, buy a new Cadillac every year. It says, keep your lives free from the love of money and be content. Now, the message of our day in our society right now is always, always be discontent. I mean, we have tremendous prosperity in our country right now, and we've never probably had so much discontent.
Pastor Ted Haggard, like his neighbors at Focus on the Family, is a free enterprise conservative, but he too feels that consumerism is becoming a poor substitute for family.
The majority of people are rushing, trying to get a little bit more. And that's got to stop. Our kids need it, our wives need it, husbands need it, grandma and grandpa need it. Yes! It is not worth having another 1,000 square feet in your house if you lose the relationship with your wife. Or if your child turns 16 and you realize you never met him. Hey, don't eat the word.
With a little help, Pastor Ted prepares a sermon. For him, being conservative means conserving.